Great. So for our Capstone project part one, we're going to be doing a bit of a business idea with our sitemap for whichever business you decided to use in Capstone part one. So essentially, what that means is if you went ahead and used a dog walking business for your part one, like I did in my idea, you can go ahead and continue with that business idea. And we're going to be approaching how to build a sitemap for our business. Now, the sitemap doesn't necessarily need to be in XML or XML or HTML. You can use either one. But for right now, what we're just trying to get across is showing off ways to build up these pages, determine some keywords for them, and then seeing how they're all going to put or work together. Now, I think because there's a lot of code that goes into the XML sitemap. We don't need to worry too much about it. I'll show you what a HTML sitemap will look like in the end of this presentation. But as a reminder, essentially what you're doing for Capstone Project part two is you're saying, okay, for part one, I picked my URL, the scale, or excuse me, the type of business I'm going to be working with, the purpose of that company, and the type of target audience that I'm going to be reaching out to. And what you're going to do now is determine, okay, how will I make my website look, or not look, but how will the pages of my website operate? And what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and try to determine at a minimum of 8 pages. So remember, pages can be like a home page, a contact me page, and an about page. And you, in my example, I have 8 pages, but you don't need to rely on those 8. You can add more. You can change around some as well. If you think that less pages makes your product come out more, explain that, and that's fine too. But remember, minimum of 8 is probably the default that we're going to go for. And then in each of these pages, you're going to have a slide dedicated to each page that explains the contents of that page very briefly. And also, the more important thing that I want to cover is the keywords that you're going to use in those pages. Let me see here really quickly. So let me go ahead and pull up my slide here. So, of course, let me swap this guy. Great. So for my project part one, I went ahead and determined I'm going to do a dog walking business in Chicago. And this is my presentation for putting together a dog walking business. And again, you can make this more in depth if you'd like. This is very bare bones. But this, I just want to show you guys an example of what you could submit. So to answer the first question, again, you can make it colorful. Mine is kind of boring. But to answer the first question that we have there, we need to determine what 8 pages are we going to be putting together for our capstone presentation. So the 8 that I put together is the home page of my dog walking business, pretty much being like my landing page or something that says like, oh, hey, this is Chicago Dog Walkers or whatever it is. And then I'm going to have a services page, and the services page is going to describe the services that we provide. Then I'm going to have a pricing page, pretty much saying if you're going to hire us for once a week to walk your dogs, it's like, I don't know, let's just say $20, something random. I have an about me talking about just who I am, and I have a contact me in case people want to contact me too. And so I think that these 5 right here are pretty really broad for any business that you're working with. You don't need to have all 5 of these. You can swap if you'd like. For instance, you can combine the services and pricing into one page if you'd like. But for instance, down here, I went ahead and got a bit more broad. So I'd say maybe I'll have a testimonials where people can look at reviews. I'm going to have a blog where maybe if I take photos of the dogs that I'm walking, I can just upload them so that people can see them. And then I'm going to have an application because I want to expand my business. So I want more people to join. So maybe some people want to walk dogs with me. And so this part is pretty easy. We just went ahead and off the top of my head, I said, okay, well, if I'm going to make this business, I need these 8 pages. Now we're going to delve into an area where it's a bit more complicated here. So at the start of, so now after you determine your 8 pages, you're going to need to dedicate a slide to each of the pages that you created. So for instance, I said I need a home page. This slide is dedicated to the home page. And now what is going to be inside of my home page? Well, it will include an explanation of what my business is about, maybe how the procedure of how I walk my dogs. Like I go to your house, I pick up your dog, and then I drop them off after like 20 minutes or whatever. And then an explanation as well, maybe on my homepage. Maybe I just have something that says, contact me if you are interested. And here is where it gets more complicated. So we need three solid keywords for each of our pages here. And you might be thinking, okay, well, how do I figure out which keywords work for each of the pages? And then this is where the keywords might get a little bit more complicated, because the thing is that your keywords, if you have a theme that you're going for your business, are going to be a little bit similar. So for instance, I have a keyword here called dog walking services, but I also have a page called services on my other page there. So I would say, because just to get your ranking up and stuff, you might include the dog walking services on your homepage. And then maybe you'll also include it on the services page as well. So don't be afraid if you have a keyword that you think is like just really good, that you think most people will look for, then you can probably reuse it a few times around your website. One more thing though is on my homepage, I said something maybe about dog walking importance. I just listed a few ideas here, but you're going to want to have three. And the main one that I might look at is, because I'm based in Chicago, is dog walking Chicago. So that means that someone might look up, or maybe they might look up something like where to walk my dog's Chicago. And you might notice, we are looking for keyword or anything like that. And these are three words. So what happens here is you could have some phrases as well. You don't need to have like a singular keyword that's like amazing, because usually we don't find that. So making a phrase is fine as well. Now, I actually didn't just make these up. I'm not that smart. So what we used here is I put together a little slide that helps you determine some keywords and phrases. So one of the tools that I need to add another one here on this page, sorry. But for instance, this tool is called a keyword tool. And what you could say is you can type in a keyword, and what I could say is dog walking near. And then if I type it in here, you will see a bunch of keywords here. You could say dog walking Chicago. Remember, that's the one that I found earlier. And you can see here that we have a lot of near areas. But if I'm doing Chicago, maybe I'll say dog walking near Chicago. Or maybe if I just type in dog walking and click enter, you exit out the ad, you'll see here that I have a bunch of, items here. And you'll see here that in my keywords, I have one that says dog walking Chicago, dog walking jobs. And that might actually help me out a little bit with my applications form to hire my new workers. So that might be a page or a keyword that I use in one of these applications. So remember, when you're approaching how to create these keywords, don't just say, okay, I'm only going to look for homepage. If you look for keywords that might fit some other pages, make sure you make a note of them. I didn't include this, but there is also another tool that we can use, and I'll go ahead and, So you need to sign into Google to do this. if a few of us have already done the Capstone too, that's fine. Sorry about that. Let's see here. So there is another website that we can use for this one. Sorry, everybody. Okay, and you might need to log into Google to access that one. But this functions pretty similar. If you hit go to Keyword Planner, and then after you go to your Keyword Planner, you hit this Discover New Keywords. You can type in dog walking. And then if you hit Get Results, you will then get the results for dog walking. So dog walking services, dog walks near me, dog friendly walks near me. And there's a bunch of keywords you can use here. And so one of the questions that came up is, how do I do it for my other pages? Well, for us, maybe you could type in something like dog walking purpose, if anyone looks those up. And it seems like not a lot of people search for that one. But maybe, let's just say that I have this page called About Me and Contact Me. People, when they look, or these pages, essentially what's going to happen is you don't want someone to type in dog walking services near me and then get a page that talks about who I am and what I do. What you might want to say is, okay, well, what would someone who's looking for the purpose of dog walking type in? Well, maybe I'll say something like dog walking importance, or importance of walking your dog. And now you can see here that we have more keywords. Maybe one of my keywords will say in my About Me, why is it important to walk your dog? So let me go to my About Me page. And one of the keywords or keyword phrases is, why is it important to walk your dog? Something like that. And so those are other type of keywords that you can use to help this SEO out, because people, when they see the About Me or the About Us page, you can talk about this. It makes your dog happier, makes them healthier, and stuff like that as well. And again, in this contact me slide, I just showed you guys, I typed in dog walking contact in that keyword tool, and I got a few extra items up in here. Dog walking contact sheet. Those are some items you can use for your keywords as well. But essentially, you can try to brainstorm some other ideas with these tools, and don't try to think of them on your own. Definitely use the keyword. Let's see here. Is it good? Let's see here. Is it bad to not walk your dog? Let's just see that one there. So and then if I try to type this into the Google as well, is it bad? Okay, so most people aren't looking for that. So again, what you can try to do is, based on these searches and stuff like that, determine which keywords work for your website there. But definitely don't kind of pigeonhole yourself to only search for one or two things. Try to expand your search. Definitely, like, maybe search for something like if you have like an ice cream shop, maybe say something like, is ice cream healthy? For this one, you could say maybe a good keyword that you can look for is benefits of walking my dog. Get results. And we'll see here that I have a low keyword that gets around 1,000 monthly searches with low competition. And then we have the benefits of walking dogs. So maybe in my About Me page, I could also say the benefits of walking dog. So essentially what happens here is you can kind of expand your keyword searches and try to figure out what questions people are asking and see if those questions relate to your pages. Now, before I wrap up here, in the final page on here, in my conclusion, there's a tool that I linked called Glue Maps. And what you could do is once you click this link, it will bring you here. And you don't need to do this, but this is a way you can explore your sitemap. So I could say that this is my home page that I talked about earlier. And let's just say that I want to build out my sitemap. You could see here that I went from my home page to the services, and then I have all the 8 pages that I wanted. Oh, I'm missing one. It's only 7. But essentially, you can use your pages here to go ahead and build up your website and make sure that it is visible to folks there.